Adrian Gonzalez's 8th inning home run, his 18th of the year, was a fitting conclusion to the Dodgers' first 90 games. After all, home runs had been their hallmark, screaming line drives, those that were high and majestic, and those that became a daily occurrence, and one that was a game-winning grand slam with one strike left to play. The Dodgers lead the league with 113 home runs, but they also lead the majors with the highest fielding percentage and the lowest number of errors and circus catches. Intermission is over now. The show resumes. Act 2, Scene 1. The Dodgers take their capital offense on the road.
It's a beautiful night for baseball. And live from Nationals Park in Washington, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Nationals in the first of a 3-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra. The Dodgers have played 90, 72 remain. First game after the break. It was thought that Clayton Kershaw would start tonight. They made a decision last night. He'll go tomorrow. Mike Bolsinger starts tonight.
Yeah, and he was ready either way. Depending on Clayton Kershaw's pitch count in the All-Star game, Mike Bolsinger looking to get on track, really the same way he did against Milwaukee his last start of the first half. Mike threw the ball really well. The ground ball percentage was up. We think about his curveball, and he throws it so much, gets his swings and misses. But when he keeps it down consistently, he gets a lot of ground balls. 81% in his last outing. And I'll tell you what, to stay on track, he's got an All-Star behind the plate.
He does. And Yasmani Grandal in the first half, his offensive has been tremendous. We know what he does with the pitching staff. Defense have stepped it up, but it's really that bat that I think has all Dodger fans so surprised. Started off a little bit slow, then picked up and hasn't stopped. His last 10 games going into the All-Star break, he hit nearly .430 and had an on-base percentage of .579.
So it'll be Mike Bolsinger going for the Dodgers tonight. Jordan Zimmerman for the Nationals. We'll be back with the lineups and first pitch right after this.
In the nation's capital, and our closed captioning tonight is brought to you by Shumash Casino, where we are all about you. Here are the Dodgers and the Nationals. Dodgers, of course, leaders of the National League West at 51-39, 4.5 in front of the Giants. The Nationals in the East at 48-39, 2 games in front of the New York Mets. And here's the lineup that Don Mattingly has put together with Peterson and Kendrick and Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, Yasmani Grandal, the All-Star, and Yasiel Puig in right, Andre Ethier in left, Jimmy Rollins at short, Bolsinger pitching and batting ninth against 29-year-old Jordan Zimmermann, making his 19th start of the year.
Well, his last 3 starts going into the All-Star break, he ended up winning, even though his last one he struggled a little bit when he was pitching against Baltimore. But he features a fastball that averages about 93 miles per hour, can top out into the mid-90s. He's got a good slider and a good curveball, and I think the curveball is his key, because when that's on, that's when he's dominant. He's got a good, big 12-6 break on it and a nice bite. Just keep him up in the zone.
Something that may surprise you about Jordan Zimmermann, since 2012, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, only Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner, Adam Wainwright, and Lance Lynn have won more games. Jordan Zimmermann, since 2012, is 53-27, winning roughly 2 out of every 3 decisions. He's a good one. He is in search of his 9th win of the year and an ERA about 3.25. Now here's Peterson stepping in after his All-Star experience. Jock at .230, 6th in the league with 20 home runs, and of course put on quite a show in the home run derby, and it was Todd Frazier's night in Cincinnati. That was great fun.
It was an awful lot of fun to watch, Charlie. Nomar, he put on a show, didn't show his nerves at all moving through those rounds.
And it was such a good format. I really liked the way it was, the time behind it. It added for the drama.
A game that has no clock was dramatically increased by the advent of the clock in the home run derby. It was terrific. Meanwhile, this is the first of the final 72 games of the regular season for the Dodgers. Peterson at 2-1 with Kendrick on deck. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jock is 2nd in the league in walks with 58. And 1st in the league, having been struck out 107 times.
Well, the thing you love about Jock is he lets it go. There is no fear in his swing. The thing that frustrates you sometimes with 2 strikes, you'd think he'd cut back a little bit. And that might be something that he does over the years.
Breaking ball fouled off.
It's something that Bryce Harper has learned. He's in his 4th year in the big leagues. Bryce Harper now starting to cut down on his swing and his aggressiveness.
Harper leads the league with a .464 on base percentage. We'll get to him soon enough as Peterson takes outside 3-2.
Bryce was more of a lunger and a free swinger before this year, but now has really cut down on his weight shift and increased his discipline.
You can make a case right now. He's the biggest star in the National League. He's top 5 in all the Triple Crown categories, and here's Peterson going the other way with a leadoff hit to begin the ball game.
Or we were just talking about that. This is one of the first times that we've seen Jock. Actually, that was more of a shorter to the ball, just about making contact, maybe think about fouling it off type of swing. Here he is with 2 strikes. Notice that wasn't that big cut, and he benefits from it, going the other way and getting a nice base hit to lead off this game.
You know, one of the things about Jock is coming back from that All-Star, you pick people's brain there. And some other guys, veterans, might say, you know, what are you doing with 2 strikes?
I swing just like I'm doing at the home run derby.
But they might come up to him, you know, I would, and say, and kind of laugh at him like, you know, I wouldn't mind facing you with 2 strikes. You don't cut down your swing, and joke about it. And if he heard that enough from the star players that he admires, who knows?
Kendrick, of course, had a great first half with the Dodgers at .292. Fouls it off to the right. Which really is past the halfway point of the season. Dodgers at 51-39, so they played 90, 72 to go. This time a year ago, the Dodgers were 50-40. And there are now but a couple of weeks remaining before the trade deadline. Quick toss to first base. And so what we see of this Dodger team on this night may be a bit different on the 1st of August.
Yeah, I think that there'll be some moves made. Our front office holds their cards very close to their chest.
This is going to be a troublesome play. Zimmerman quickly off the mound, gets Kendrick, but Peterson goes to second base. Defensively behind Jordan Zimmerman tonight, you may remember left fielder Clint Robinson. He was with the Dodgers in spring training, and because of all the injuries here in Washington, he's put together a pretty good year. Taylor is in center, Harper, of course, in right. Escobar, wouldn't believe it, but Yunel Escobar is the fourth leading hitter in the National League. Desmond has struggled offensively and defensively. Espinosa's second. Tyler Moore is at first base. Wilson Ramos is behind the plate. And here is Justin Turner stepping in. Turner with 11 home runs and 39 runs batted in. And there's a strike, and it's 0-1. Turner was happy for the All-Star break. Until the 3-hit game on Sunday, he'd been struggling. Over the 10 games leading into the break, he was 6 for 35. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Into center field. That's Taylor heading back. Peterson went halfway, then retreated. Might have been better served to try to tag right from the get-go.
Michael Taylor got a nice jump on that ball, Nomar.
He did, and I think what Jock did, he was trying to read it, thinking it might have a possibility of going over his head. That's why you're halfway. You're still in scoring position there, and that's the second out we always talk about. You don't want to make the first or third out at third base. So you see him, he's like, okay, is it going to go over his head? Now he realizes he has a beat on it. By then he was just trying to see if he read if he threw it away.
So Taylor in center field, taking over for the injured Denard Span. They've got quite a hospital list, this Washington Nationals team. Ryan Zimmerman, Denard Span, Jason Worth, of course, Strasburg on the DL as well. And there's a strike, 0-1. Rendon on the disabled list, yet the Nationals at 48 and 39.
You have Max Scherzer going every fifth day. That can stabilize a team.
How about Sunday's matchup? On Sunday afternoon, Zach Greinke and Max Scherzer.
Yeah, arguably the two top pitchers in the National League right now.
Sure.
I think coming down the stretch, they'll be the two that we'll be talking about, or definitely in the run for Cy Young if they continue what they're doing.
Grandal on deck. 0-2. Fastball upstairs. So it's Zimmerman and Bolsinger tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, Kershaw and Doug Fister. And then on Sunday, Greinke and Scherzer. Well, that's must-see TV. Gonzalez, 18 home runs and 55 runs batted in.
I always felt when you came back from the All-Star break, I don't know if it was psychological for me as a pitcher, but I always felt like the pitchers were ahead of the hitters because being such an experiential sport, you guys get out of your rhythm a little bit. Haven't seen a big league curveball, big league slider in a while. So I always felt when I had that first start after the All-Star break, I always liked that first or second day when the hitters maybe weren't back in their groove.
1-2 to Gonzalez.
Well, and I think usually, as a pitcher and you as a starter, you usually set up the time off like it's your normal routine, even with that break. Maybe there's an extra day here or there, but you're still on that routine. Where hitters, when you take them off, it's a whole lot different because you're hitting every day.
The guys would talk about, the cobwebs in your body because you're so used to getting up for a game every day in your regimen, in your routine, and all of a sudden you get to relax, and all of a sudden you come back and you've got to get your body going. And it takes a few days sometimes.
You definitely feel that, and you're going, oh, well, I'm rejuvenated a little bit. I do get some rest, but my timing still what's off.
So it's the risk reward, which is better, as Gonzalez works out the 2-out walk, and that'll bring up the All-Star Yasmani Grandal. So you get a few days off and do nothing, but maybe your timing's out of whack for a day or two.
Yeah, and sometimes your timing gets right on over the course of the game. You're like, okay, I'm back where I need to be.
I always felt like I was going to default to a breaking ball because you hadn't seen one in a while. If I was in between on pitch selection.
Grandal takes a strike. Grandal having the best season of his career. First All-Star game appearance, 282, 14 home runs and 36 runs batted in. Puig on deck. Grandal takes a strike.
Interesting to read some of Yasmani's quotes about the All-Star game and getting interviewed so much about how he likes kind of being under the radar as a star. That he did make the All-Star team. He is attaining the goals that he's had for himself. But he likes the fact that he's not the #1 catcher in the National League like Yadier Molina's around. He likes the fact that he doesn't have to carry that weight.
But on the other hand, this has been his breakout year.
Oh, yeah.
On both sides of the ball. Puig on deck. Peterson at second. Gonzalez at first. That build-up down on strikes. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left after the first half of the first. Dodgers nothing. Mike Bolsinger getting ready for his 14th start, and the Nationals are coming up. Second season as the manager of the Washington Nationals. A year ago, all they did was win the East and go 30 games over 500. He's got Escobar and Espinosa and Bryce Harper. Clint Robinson, a Dodger for a minute. Wilson Ramos, Ian Desmond, Tyler Moore, Michael Taylor, Jordan Zimmerman facing 27-year-old Michael Bolsinger, and Mike is making his 14th start.
Mike had a nice rebound start against Milwaukee before the break, trying to build on that momentum. It's really not about his curveball anymore. They know he has it. They know he throws it a lot. It is about the fastball location and about mixing in a few changeups now to make that fastball seem a little faster, because it only tops out at about 86.
Interestingly, right-handers are hitting just .213 against Bolsinger. Lefties .288. And what's also interesting, he's primarily the breaking ball kind of a pitcher. In 73 innings, he's only given up 3 home runs.
He has done a good job with the breaking ball and thrown it behind in the count. So when he gets backed into a fastball count, if he can throw the breaking ball, he can get out.
Yunel Escobar. At .321, he's the 4th leading hitter in the National League. He has bounced around some, but has found a home in Washington. Again, with the injured Rendon, Escobar, primarily a shortstop in his career, has taken over at third base and done awfully well. Espinosa on deck and Harper to follow.
Like Bolsinger turning me into a liar as far as fastball topping out. The first 2 pitches at 88 on 6 days rest. He's feeling a little froggy out there. I'll tell you, you throw a lot of curveballs. It's actually, for me, I think the hardest pitch to throw as far as wear and tear on your arm. It takes the most effort to get to the front of the ball. You have to hold on to it the longest.
Ball dipped down, didn't it?
He's got the 88-mile-an-hour arm speed, and he can then spin the ball with that arm speed. The breaking ball is definitely going to be sharper. That arm speed goes into the spin rate, makes it sharper.
He did a good job on that one, making it look like a fastball coming out of his hand.
On 2-2.
His first 5 starts, Mike Bolsinger, he was 3-1 with like a 1.15, and he was on top of his game. And then the last 8 or so have not been the same. ERA's hovering around 4.5. He's ready to get back on a roll.
In search of his 5th win of the year. Count is full. Bolsinger last pitch a week ago tonight against the Brewers. 2 runs, 4 hits in 6 innings. Not around for the final decision. Struck out 6 and walked 1. The Dodgers won that game. Into right center. Jock Peterson. So Peterson is at center field as usual, flanked by Andre Ethier in left and Yasiel Puig in right. Turner and Rollins and Kendrick in the infield, along with of course Adrian Gonzalez, Grandal behind the plate, and Bolsinger on the hit. That's the Dodger defense, which has been statistically the best in Major League Baseball this year. Highest fielding percentage and the fewest number of errors. 35 on the season. Kendrick and Rollins up the middle, certainly a solidifying presence. Espinosa tries to bunt and Bolsinger throws it away. Too easy.
Yeah, I mean, this bunt was right back to Bolsinger. Easy play for him. And watch him as he's trying to throw it off the run, and he just throws it right over Adrian Gonzalez's head there. It's one of those where you start thinking too much in your head. You're going, okay, it's an easy play. I just got to get it there, and you end up launching it.
Was that about the highest fielding percentage and the fewest number of errors? Still true, but wasn't pretty. And here is one of the game's biggest stars. Bryce Harper will not turn 23 until November. You talk to the Nationals people, and they're not even going to mess with him. They're going to walk him intentionally. Now that is respect. First inning of the game.
Well, that tells you the scouting report on Bryce Harper, and it also tells you the scouting report on Clint Robinson on deck.
The Nationals have seen this. They're obviously dealing with a lot of injuries right now. You know, Jason Worth on the shelf, Ryan Zimmerman on the shelf as well, Denard Span. They've had quite a few, and don't really have that guy behind Bryce Harper on a consistent basis. So you're seeing a lot of intentional walks, recognizing that he's the guy that you, over your scouting report, that you're saying, please, cannot hurt us. We got to make sure he can't hurt us. Get him in situations where he can swing the bat. That was obviously with a base open. Go ahead and intentionally walk him.
9th time he's been intentionally walked. So here's Clint Robinson. Remember, he had a home run in spring training, and he had a grin from ear to ear back when he was with the Dodgers, albeit briefly. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Done well in Washington. 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. This is his 150th at bat, so he's played quite a bit.
Now, Washington really expected him to be a left-handed bat off the bench, but with all their injuries, he's getting more and more at bats, and here hitting in the 4-hole tonight. They thought off the bench with his short swing that he'd be able to maintain it with few at bats.
At 88. Got a sense that Bolsinger kind of overthrew that fastball.
When Mike comes for the fastball in, he has a tendency to miss off the plate, not really throw accurate strikes in there. So he's trying not to let it leak over the middle.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Bolsinger trying to get out of the mess he created for himself.
Robinson with the Nationals on opening day. It was his first opening day big league game. Well, that's why they wanted Robinson instead of Harper. Now there's 2 out.
The rust for hitters is the rhythm and seeing big league breaking balls. See Clint Robinson kind of flinch at that one, but it was set up by a nice backdoor breaking ball by Bolsinger earlier in the count that Robinson wasn't sure, is that going to be a ball or is that going to catch the corner like the other one?
So Grandal and Bolsinger having a brief conversation as Wilson Ramos awaits. Ramos is the Nationals' all-time leader in home runs as a catcher with 54. Over the last 22 games prior to the break, Ramos 4 home runs, 14 runs batted in, and 4 doubles. 2 out, 2 on, bottom of the first. Dodgers had first and second, 2 out, unable to cash it in the top half. That's past third base coach Bob Hendley. Over first base is Tony Tarasco. Tarasco was in right field for Baltimore the day of that Jeffrey Mayer catch at Yankee Stadium about 20 years ago. Rich Garcia was the umpire in one of those infamous plays. Bolsinger ahead, 0-2. Ian Desmond on deck. A long year for Ian Desmond.
Just barely above the 200 line for Ian Desmond. So you want to attack Ramos now that you're ahead of him 0-2, but back of your mind, you still feel like you have a base open with Desmond and his struggles on deck.
Espinosa at second, Harper at first, and Ramos is done, and Bolsinger gets out of the mess with a couple of strikeouts to finish off the Nationals in the first. When we go to the second, it'll be Yasiel Puig, Andre Ethier, and Jimmy Rollins coming up. Longest fan photo. Use hashtag DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself at an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. So we'll go to the top half of the second inning. And Yasiel Puig, Andre Ethier, and Jimmy Rollins will hit. So both pitchers get into a bit of trouble, and both of them were able to get out of it. Well, it's kind of like first inning jitters after the intermission.
Yeah, the hitters have to knock off the rust facing big league sliders, split fingers, curveballs. I think the pitchers have to knock off the rust of pitching in a jam. When you're in the bullpen, you're getting your workouts. You've had your 5, 6, 7 days off. You haven't been in that heat of the competition with men on.
Puig to right. Harper going back. And he makes the catch. Whirling dervish in right. Harper tracks it down, and Puig is done.
I think this was just sheer athleticism by Bryce Harper, because as you see, he turns to his right looking for the spot, and then when he turns back around, he has to go way back to his left. That ball was just tailing away, obviously hit from a right-handed hitter. Yasiel Puig gets it off the end, driving it that way, so it's starting to tail away from Bryce Harper. And then just athletic enough to spin around and still make a good catch.
And worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. Andre Ethier steps in. Takes low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Ethier, a really solid first half of the year. 281, 10 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Rollins on deck. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the first of a 10-game road trip for the Dodgers. 3 here, 3 in Atlanta, and 4 with the Mets in New York. Well, look what I found. And it's a good thing he did, or it could have been some bodily harm.
And this ball wasn't blistered, a little bit off the end of the bat from Andre. So this ball comes back actually a lot slower than it feels as the pitcher, because you're sticking your glove up and you're thinking it should be there by now, and he actually has time to actually duck and get down. If that ball is scorched, it probably hits him in the chest.
It's still scary nonetheless.
Oh, it's so scary. You almost catch it like 3 times. You know, it's like the ball stops. It's like, come on, get here.
So Jimmy Rollins stepping in. Rollins up to 213. Over the 20 games leading up to the All-Star break, he was 20 for 75 at 267 clip. So it's been a long, slow journey up the hill for Rollins with 8 home runs and 29 runs batted in. Yunel Escobar. Well, it goes as a 1-2-3 inning for Zimmerman, but it wasn't that easy. We'll go to the bottom of the second with Desmond, Moore, and Taylor coming up, scoreless from Nationals Park. Up until about last night, and Alana's got more on how that all came about.
Well, Charlie, Don Mattingly had talked before the All-Star break that the order of the starting rotation could be different, and he stuck to his word. You can see what the order is now. Of course, Mike Bolsinger on the hill tonight. Clayton Kershaw will go tomorrow, reason being they wanted to give him an extra day of rest after the All-Star break. Zach Greinke behind Kershaw, and then Brandon Beachy making his second start as a Dodger. Goes next, followed by Brett Anderson. Then a decision will need to be made after Carlos Frias comes back, whether or not Frias is going to go into the bullpen or what's going to happen with Beachy, guys.
Or how Frias is feeling. That back is still not quite 100%. So Kershaw will go tomorrow. And then Greinke on Sunday. Again, we've been talking about the Greinke-Scherzer matchup on Sunday. Ian Desmond, he's been struggling all year. Bounces right to Jimmy Rollins. One gone in the second.
Well, Mattingly was talking about changing the rotation. A lot of it was trying not to get also Kershaw and Greinke back to back. And I'm sure that changed right now with Kershaw throwing in the All-Star game, and so that changing things up. But at the same time, you know, the Dodgers do have days off at the end of July where they can possibly change rotation then as well.
They can shuffle the deck some. And the other thought in trying to spread out Kershaw and Greinke is to minimize the use of the bullpen, especially down the stretch. Tyler Moore takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
And down the stretch really is till September 1st, because then when you have the expanded roster, the bullpen will have plenty of arms in it, but you definitely don't want to tax them.
Moore takes a strike. Moore with 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in.
We are really entering the very intriguing days of baseball season with the trade deadline and the races.
It's really boiled down now to a 70-game season. 72 to be precise for the Dodgers, who lead the Giants by 4.5. And then again, what all of these teams look like 2 weeks from now, we'll all find out together reading the paper in the morning or the internet late at night. On 1 and 2 to Tyler Moore.
General managers right now, especially the teams that are on the bubble, are deciding if they're buyers or they're sellers. They're having meetings with their ownership, deciding how ownership sees the risk and reward of being a buyer or a seller, what the plan is for not only this season but forming the roster for next season and the year after that.
Rollins dug out by the Gold Glove winning Adrian Gonzalez.
When I was associate general manager with the Texas Rangers, we always had to present 3 plans. We had an A plan that we're going for right now. We had a B plan that if these kind of deals come up, we could maneuver like this. And then we had a C plan where you want to break it down, you want to save money, and you want to get ready to rebuild. And it was amazing how you'd have the plans, but even in the midst of execution, sometimes ownership can change.
Michael Taylor at 246 with a half dozen home runs takes a strike. And again, this week a team may be a buyer. They go into a slump. Next week they're a seller. Rollins calling off his buddy. And that will end the inning. Jimmy, I believe there's 3 out.
No, he's drawing the line to let Howie know it was on my side.
LA is brought to you by the 2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. Sometimes you just cross the line, young man.
You see the guy he's laughing about. Watch Jimmy right there talking about that pop-up, and he's like, look, here, let me show you the line right here. Let me show you. Here it goes from home plate, just so you know what's your side.
This is my side. This is your side.
Probably telling Howie, respect your elders, too. Bolsinger leading it off. Mike has one hit this year and takes a strike. It's 0-1. So it'll be Bolsinger, Peterson, and Kendrick. Scoreless in the top half of the third. If we've been down this road before, it's because we have. Both the Dodgers and Nationals have been in first place or second place in their divisions after the All-Star break in each of the last 4 years. Such was the case last year. It was a battle of division leaders when we were here. Bolsinger down on strikes. And here they are, the division leaders, as we begin this series. Be one of the first 40,000 fans that attend us Wednesday, July 29th. Receive a Yasiel Puig bobblehead presented by Jack in the Box. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So 2 strikeouts for Zimmerman. Peterson singled to left in his first at-bat. The fact that he singled and singled to left was newsworthy. As a result, the Nationals are not putting on the shift for Peterson, which we see a lot of teams do.
Jacques just loosened his back up with that one. Like he walked away a little bit, making sure it was all in one piece.
0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jock Peterson. So more than half the time this year, Peterson will either hit a home run, strike out, or a walk. It was about 52%.
Yep. Although we've already seen it change today, so it's like
a single to left.
Yep.
Third strikeout for Zimmerman, and the 108th time Peterson has gone down on strikes.
We haven't really seen the big 12-6 curveball from Zimmerman yet. Still, he's working on putting up his third 0, so he's going to have stuff to go through the order again, at least to surprise the Dodgers with another pitch.
He's been right now this inning. He's been hitting those corners with the fastball. We saw him do that against Bolsinger. First 2 pitches against Jock Peterson, and then that slider.
It's a really good strategy if you can keep a pitch or even 2 in your back pocket for the second and third time around the order. You know that your fastball is going to start to deteriorate a little bit.
Kendrick right into the glove of Moore, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zimmerman, who now has retired 7 straight. We'll go to the bottom half of the third inning. Zimmerman will lead it off, to be followed by Escobar and Espinosa. We're scoreless. Kershaw and A.J. Ellis pay a visit to the Dodgers Baseball Academy at Campo Las Palmas. Let's find out how winter ball helped Jock Peterson break into the big leagues. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers Thursday night at 8 o'clock right here on Sportsnet LA. Now Jordan Zimmermann steps in. He's 4 for 32 this year, leading it off in the bottom of the third. Now if you want to have a good bi-coastal argument, who's the best 1-2 combination in baseball, at least in the National League? Kershaw and Greinke, or Scherzer and this fellow Zimmerman?
Wow. I'm going to take our guys.
Yep. My vote would be Kershaw and Greinke. But then again, but these guys are not Scherzer and Zimmerman, but I'm going Kershaw and Greinke.
I think we nose them out in both categories. Clayton is definitely better than Max. And I think Zach is better than Zimmerman. That's hard to say with Scherzer, the way he threw the ball for a couple starts there in a row. Almost Johnny Vandermeered it. Over 54 batters. He didn't give up a hit. And 52 of them were retired. Did end up giving up one hit. Threw one no-hitter.
3-2 to Jordan Zimmerman.
I mean, I think right now, so far in this year, I think you're arguing, you're going, is Scherzer and Greinke going at it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you know, and then you're like Zimmerman versus Kershaw right now. So
it depends on what time frame you pick.
Right, exactly. We're talking just right now in the first half.
But Clayton Kershaw, for his last 8 starts or so, like about a 1.53,
yes,
he's really turned it on. He's back to the Clayton of, can't even say of old. He's not even old.
153.
Oh yeah.
Greinke's at 139. Come on.
I know. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're talking about like that right after Memorial Day. That's when you got Kershaw, the 153.
Do you want a ribeye or do you want porterhouse? What do you want? Do you want filet mignon or do you want Chateaubriand?
How about, but until that point, though, it's the third lowest ERA.
Yeah.
The second is Carlos Martinez at a 1.5, and then Zach Greinke at 1.3.
Puig.
No. Did he jump so high that he got the top of the wall, almost kind of like dislocate your elbow the opposite way?
Look, he hit that, over the pad.
Yeah, your elbow just doesn't want to bend
over the
this
pad
way.
Right there. Look at
yeah.
See,
he's got the metal
rail. Yeah,
plus
the metal
the elbow
rail
doesn't want to bend that way.
Little hyperextension.
Yes, exactly. And he's not a weak young man. That's a lot of pressure.
This one will be easier.
It's supposed to be. He didn't make it. It was funny when he first came to him. He glanced to see, how close he was to that wall again, thinking it was going to attack him again.
One thing Yasiel Puig will not do, he will not back down from anything. We have seen him be fearless in right field. If it's the side wall, if it's the back wall, and it doesn't matter the score. He just loves catching the ball.
Not supposed to bend that way. Now Yanel Escobar.
LCL might have bent that metal rail. That's how strong he is.
We would say that on the bench sarcastically when he comes in between innings.
Yeah.
Did anybody check the rail?
Right.
Nobody asked him about his arm.
Escobar, like Puig from Cuba.
How to show love to your teammates on big league bench.
Say, hey, I heard the Nationals are going to send you a bill for bending the
rail.
Anybody can bend an elbow. Which direction?
Ooh, I like it. Fastball in from Bolsinger, and he gets it in there, all the way in there. The curveball makes them all stay back because he threw 47% curveballs in his last outing. You get a fastball, I don't care if it's 88, 86, and on your hands right there, that's going to hurt your thumbs.
Escobar acted like it hit his hands there, but it didn't hit his bat, but it hit it so far in. Check your knuckles.
Escobar's been in this country 11 years.
That's a hanging breaking ball that should have been a strike. That's the one you're glad to get back that he didn't hit for a home run. It sure looked like it caught the strikes.
Yeah.
I think that's just a hanger for a strike. That's a hanger for a double.
Yanel Escobar with his 13th two-base hit of the season.
That's the thing about breaking balls, Delmar. You can throw a good one or a bad one, but sooner or later you're going to hang one. And Mike Bolsinger hung 2 in a row.
Yeah, that first one, as you mentioned, could have been called a strike. And then when he was trying to go away, make it look like the strike, so you get that swing and miss. Wasn't able to do that, and especially after you just tied him up with that fastball. You know, you're looking in, and you end up hanging one on the inside so he can pull it.
So here's a switch hitting Danny Espinosa stepping in. With Escobar at second base. It's the second runner in scoring position for the Nats tonight. Fastball down and in.
My mind is racing now that Espinosa happens to walk. Do you walk Bryce Harper to load the bases, give him the Barry Bonds treatment?
Bolsinger trips, falls, and safe. That's a second error for Bolsinger, and now it looks like he might have twisted an ankle. Now Stan Conti comes running out of the dugout.
He gets off the mound very well and just seems to lose his balance right here as he's bending over to get to that ball, and definitely safe.
It's ruled a hit, but that's the least of Don Mattingly and Stan Conti, and especially Mike Bolsinger's concern.
Looking at his knee, left knee. When he spins around and is tumbling, and then he has to brace himself because he's thinking about, okay, I'm going down, I got to get back up quick. Watch the left knee come around. Oh, it's a lot of pressure there on the inside.
I don't know if it was when he was getting up, you can put that pressure on that inside part of his knee, or is when he actually got his toe catches. See right there, and then when he's going down. Is it before that or right there? Yeah.
Now will he be able to continue?
The left leg is the worst leg for a right-handed pitcher to have problems with, because that's the one when you're taking your body down and you're getting into your release and you're trying to be the most aggressive. If you have a little tweak on the back leg as a pitcher, you can brace yourself a little bit and get down the hill and land onto your healthy leg, but the front leg is not one to mess with. Stan Conti, the trainer for the Dodgers, thinking right now if he has any problem with that left leg and that thing gives way at all, it's going right up his body into his arm, and that's where you make your money. That's where your health is. It's the last place that Stan wants to let him start throwing practice pitches. Let that get up. So he's forcing him to do shadows. Because he doesn't want to incorporate the arm until the leg is right.
It was Dizzy Dean took a comebacker in the All-Star game off his foot. Then, as a result, he altered his rotation, hurt his arm, and essentially ended his career.
It's a chain of events. And you pitch from the ground up. Everybody thinks, oh, you have to have a great arm. Well, you do. But the thing that protects your great arm is the mechanics below it. And it starts from your feet, goes up into your knees, then to your hips. And everything has to be in line to take the pressure off your great arm.
Now Conti wants to make sure Bolsinger's giving him the right answers.
We've got the embarrassment of not making a routine play again. You got the embarrassment of getting hurt on not making that routine play, and then you get the present of having Bryce Harper up there with men on first and third and one out.
Now let me ask you this: you were talking about the possibility of first and second with Harper coming up. It's first and third. Do you walk him again?
I don't know right now. It's a tough call. I tell you what, I am not pitching to him and giving in to him as a pitcher. I'm going to rely on trying to have Bryce get himself out.
There's a base open. It doesn't always have to be first base.
No, it doesn't. And you have a guy that's slow on deck, Clint Robinson, that is a double play candidate.
Harper took the intentional walk in the first inning. That was the 9th of this season. He had had 8 intentional walks in his career coming into this year.
If you ask me, do I rather face Bryce Harper first and third or Clint Robinson with bases loaded? I'll take the second scenario.
Yeah,
for sure.
So again, there's not a whole lot of difference if it's first and second and intentionally walking the guy, or first and third intentionally walking the guy. It's the same result. It's going to be the bases loaded.
Exactly.
Well, they're going with Harper. Good luck. We're all counting on it.
And we've heard that it's these scenarios where Bryce Harper has shown the maturity, because it's really easy to go after, or in your mind as you're stepping up saying, okay, I just got to intentionally walk. Oh, now they're pitching to me. I got to force something to happen. But so you're really battling with yourself to say, okay, stay within yourself and make sure I still get a good pitch that I can handle, knowing that he probably doesn't want to give you a good pitch.
2 balls, no strikes.
That's actually, for me, a bad pitch for the Dodgers. The fact that it counts 2-1 now, it almost forces you to try and get him out. And Yasmani out there saying that one's even too close.
Yeah, there are a lot of times when a hitter like Harper out, you look at how many intentional base on balls he's received thus far, but there's also the unintentional intentional walk.
Right.
81 games into this season, Harper is already at a career high in home runs and RBIs. 26 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Two and two.
Mike's doing a nice job changing the speeds on his breaking ball and changing the angle. He threw a hard flat one the pitch before there. That one he threw a little softer, tried to make it go 12-6. He knows exactly that they don't want to give in with a fastball. So if you're going to throw 4 breaking balls in a row and get the count to 2-2, you better not throw the same speed and the same break.
Harper on 2-2.
You saw on that one, you saw Yasmani before the pitch really pointing to the ground saying, I want this one in the dirt. Don't give it up. Don't make the mistake. There it is. Letting them know. Keep it down.
Harper second in the league in home runs with 26. Bolsinger has given up but 3 home runs in 76 innings. Kendrick, Rollins, they're not going to get Bryce Harper. In to score is Escobar on the force-out fielder's choice, and the Nationals take a 1-0 lead.
Well, when it's all said and done, you'll take that for sure. Yeah, they score a run, but Bryce Harper gets turned over in the order, and it's only 1-0, and now you just get your team in the dugout, and you feel like you won the battle, and maybe you got a chance to win the war.
So Harper with his 62nd run batted into the year. And here's Clint Robinson, who struck out in his first at-bat. Dodgers with the big shift on for the big left-handed hitter.
Mike is still favoring that left leg. Through that pitch, high curve ball, and you see him hop off of it. Like he's still testing it. It's one thing for it to be pain-free. It's another thing to have confidence in it.
Justin Turner had a long way to go from third base. He's playing in short right field about 20 feet off the line with the shift on for Clint Robinson. There he is.
So what position are you playing? Oh, I'm playing third. Okay.
Yeah, it went 4-3, kind of 5-3, 4.5, 3.
Get to your position out there near right field.
You remember spring training a year ago? It was Turner who was in a battle for that starting job at second base with Dee Gordon, Alex Guerrero, among others. Dee, of course, would win the job. Turner would take over at third base after Uribe got hurt and ended up hitting .340.
I talked about the at sign and keeping score when it's like 5 at 4. That's not even 5 at 4. That's 5 at 4S shifted. I mean, this is going to be ridiculous to keep score with these shifts.
Now it's 3-1.
I think you're just going to have to draw a line to where the ball goes on your scorebook. Kind of act as if you have a little field on your scorebook and said it came right here.
No, really, I'm the third baseman, but I'm only 20 feet off the line.
5-3 line right here.
Kind of, sort of. 3-1 with 2 out. Bolsinger walks Robinson. Mattingly keeping a close eye on Bolsinger. Dodger bullpen for the moment remains quiet, so this will be a story that unfolds here over the next little while.
Well, the information I'm gathering just watching Mike throw the ball is he's throwing the ball early in his delivery, so he's worried about what it's going to feel like when that front leg hits. He's releasing the ball early, which tells me he's not staying in his legs. And he's got to find the confidence in that leg real quick here so the game doesn't get out of whack.
2 out, 2 on. Ramos a strikeout victim in his first at bat. 8 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Rollins throws out the Nationals catcher. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. Keep an eye on Bolsinger between innings as he's walking off, about to be greeted by Mattingly and Cunty. Turner, Gonzalez, and Grant. Is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, and Yasmani Grandal will He'll be batting as we go to the top half of the fourth. The Nationals with a 1-0 lead. And as Mike Bolsinger was leaving the field at the end of the bottom of the third, he went straight into the clubhouse. And Stan Conti, the trainer, went with him. We'll keep an eye on the Dodger bullpen, which at the moment remains quiet. And Turner, who flied to center in his first at-bat, leading it off.
You tweak a knee or you tweak an elbow, Nomar, and then the trainer goes to test it to see if it's good. Sometimes the tests hurt more than the injury.
Yeah. Like, you're making it worse.
Does it hurt when I do this?
Yeah,
Yes.
They're like, they bend it the way it's not supposed to see if it's stable, you know, to see if the ligament's stable. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They take a look at Puig's elbow.
Like,
Forget my knee.
Yeah, it's like, don't do that. That's what hurt.
It hurts when I do this, and don't do this. Justin with 11 home runs and 39 runs batted in.
After I tweaked my elbow once, and then they showed it's a valgus stress test, I think as they call it. And I never admitted to elbow tweaking ever again. Like, I'm not going to let him do that to my elbow.
Turner, one of 6 Dodgers with at least 10 home runs. Gets hit by a pitch on 1-2. The Dodgers with a leadoff base runner here in the fourth.
That shouldn't even count. The only reason I like it is because the Dodger gets to first base.
It shouldn't even count.
Should,
the ball hit him.
Hit
you
by
should
pitch
have
or,
enough command.
or brush by pitch.
Oh my goodness.
He's at first base, isn't he?
It hit him.
You guys
have
get
enough
to wear
control.
all that equipment.
You know what? You should have enough control, not even to brush him.
So Stan Conti with a report to the manager on Mike Bolsinger. Gonzalez walked in his first at-bat.
The thing is, you have Conti going over there and talking to Mattingly, and at the same time, you don't have anybody warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So maybe that's a good sign. You see Bolsinger back in the dugout. That
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a sleeve on now, a sleeve on his knee.
Support. Well hit to right field. Adrian Gonzalez has hit it out. His 19th of the year, and the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. Got it all. Would it stay fair? It did.
Such a pretty swing by Adrian Gonzalez. Gets a fastball up in the zone right there and just gets all of that. He knew it right off the bat that this ball was going a long way and out of the park, and gives the Dodgers a nice lead.
So the Dodgers with their 2-1 lead. Dodgers now with 114 home runs.
Nice to see Adrian heat up. Since June 2nd, he's only hitting .214, 8 home runs, 20 RBIs. So he's been kind of drifting away from that hot start that he had in April.
They hit that 8th inning home run on Sunday to give the Dodgers the win over the Brewers. And here he has cracked his 19th. The Dodgers take their first lead of the night.
It's a good timing for it too, especially after the Nationals just put one on the board that last inning, an all-important shutdown inning, and you're able to get the lead.
That was the 9th home run of the season that Zimmerman gave up. And Bolsinger's knee's suddenly feeling a whole lot better, isn't it?
It's amazing how it feels better when you got a lead now.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. To the right side. Espinosa throws out Grandal, first out of the fourth.
A lot of smiles on the Dodger dugout because Adrian went upper deck, or second deck. So there's a little bit more of a story there than just hitting it over the wall.
You don't like the second deck when they hit off you that far?
You know what? I'd rather you hit it in the second deck than just over the wall. Just over the wall feels like I could have made just a little better pitch and got you out.
The upper deck.
Then
you're like, wow, you did.
Nah.
You got all.
You earned it, and I was really bad. I don't want some paint scratcher, scraper on the backside
hits
of
the top of the wall, goes out.
No, those are the worst.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah. You pitch 7 strong innings. You're in line for a W. There's 2 out. You got a 1-run lead. You're going and you hang one and you scratch the back of the wall to give me a no decision or a loss. Oh, that's the worst.
But the one that just was way out. It's okay if the infielder came out like, man, did you see how far he hit that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just hit it as far as you want.
1-2 to Yasiel Puig. That's 2-2. It's like one of those you want to lose 1-0 or get clubbed 17-2.
Right, you get on the team bus, lose game 17-2. Guys are coming on with a little better attitude because you want to wash that away. You might even laugh about it a little bit and go, let's go tomorrow.
There's Puig with a base hit in the left center field past the diving Desmond. So Puig is 1 for 2, and he was robbed of an extra base hit by Bryce Harper in his first at bat. Ethier stepping in. He smashed a comebacker, but right into the glove of Jordan Zimmerman in his first at-bat. Gonzalez home run here in the 4th has given the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. Zimmerman is 8-5 on the year. That's well hit to center field. Taylor's got a long way to go, and he will track it down against the wall. Michael Taylor taking over in center field for the injured Denard Span. With a long run to make the play.
Did he get it, Nomar?
He got a pretty good chunk of it. Obviously, didn't get all of it because all of it for Andre Ethier goes out of the ballpark. But I thought he got enough of that, at least to get off the wall and carry away from Taylor in center field, but it seemed like it just hung up there to allow him.
Yeah, a little heavy the air here.
So 2 out, and Rollins stepping in. Jimmy popped to third in his first at bat. Takes high and away.
Watching Andre be a little upset, grab his back, go down the tunnel. He just a click off. That line drive up the middle kind of got a little too far out in front. Now he waited a little longer on that one, but he still just didn't have the complete power of his swing. He's just a tick off.
That one's to center field, and Taylor's tracking this one down too. Michael Taylor. It's got to be the shoes. Adrian Gonzalez, his 19th home run of the year, now has 57 runs batted in. With that blast has given the Dodgers a 2-1 lead after 3.5.
2nd, when the Dodgers host the Angels. And you'll receive your very own Dodgers cap presented by Security Benefit. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. They do this in Washington because it is Washington. Ian Desmond will lead it off. Boy, Desmond is having a year he'd rather forget about for this ball. He bounced to short in his first at-bat. Steps into the batter's box, hitting just .210. And he has struggled defensively. He's not had a lot to hang his helmet on this year. One ball and one strike.
You see the production right there in 2014. 24 and 91. He's got a long way to go in the last 70 or so games to even resemble those numbers. What happens, Nomar, when a guy has just a huge fall off?
A lot of times is there's a flaw in your mechanics, and you can't really feel exactly what that flaw is. There are times you can go back and you can see it.
Gonzalez has room.
But even though you can see it on video, when you take it into the game, that flaw seems to keep reoccurring, and you can't make the adjustment in the middle of the game.
And he's never exactly been a Gold Glover either, and so his strength has been with a bat in his hands. Last year, Desmond, in 154 games, made 24 errors. This year, in 83 games, he's already made 20. Doesn't have a whole lot going for him. Grandal with a brief chat with Bolsinger.
We just had some lights go down, Charlie. It's much darker on the field right now. The umpires are going to have to talk about it, and they're actually pulling the players off the field.
We've been down this road before, if you recall, at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And for there was a 10-minute period of time where Clayton Kershaw was just out there sitting around doing nothing.
It looks like Major League Baseball, because we had a long delay, and it was a filibuster.
Joe Madden was brilliant at it.
Yeah, like we're in Washington, but we were in Chicago.
Well, here there's a greater sense of diplomacy in the nation's capital.
Well, it almost looks like Major League Baseball instructed the umpires, if this happens, immediately pull the team off the field. We don't want to have any controversy on who was in charge of the game.
Bill Miller is the crew chief out of UCLA. That's Adrian Johnson, Doug Eddings. That's Jim Wolf, Randy's older brother. Good fellas, there's not a whole lot we can do about this until we get it fixed. Well, after the Madden filibuster, and you remember how angry Kershaw was and the Dodgers were the day after. This is why Joe Madden is Joe Madden. Finds Kershaw around the batting cage before the game. Explains what he did and why. Kershaw perfectly understood. Wasn't less irritated by it, but perfectly understood. And he got him a bottle of wine to say, no harm, no foul. And Kershaw was more than happy to take the beverage.
Well, it's gamesmanship.
Sure.
And Joe has to do it. And if Joe was Clayton's manager, Clayton would want him to do everything he could within the power of the rules to make it easier for the Dodgers to win. Madden was managing the Cubs and played the game properly.
The lights along the third baseline are mostly out, as you see. First base seemed to be okay. And so the field is not as illuminated as it was about 5 minutes ago. And what's fascinating, you see the four umpires there to the left of home plate. What is there to do? Well, nothing.
Didn't you say the All-Star break was an intermission? We got a little one of the game.
The Dodgers are kind of languishing in the dugout down the third baseline. The Nationals are doing the same down the first baseline. And now the National Pastimes game is in the hands of some utility guy. And not a utility player, a utility guy.
Every little leaguer and every high school player and every college player that is watching this game live is saying, what's the big deal? These lights are better than any lights I've ever played under, even now.
Almost a month ago, June 22nd at Wrigley Field. Remember, Justin Turner. Whoa! Tonight, the lights went out in Chicago. And for 10 minutes, Joe Madden was singing and dancing. And Kershaw was, well, he wasn't singing and he wasn't dancing. And for 10 minutes, they filibustered. Now, at least, the Dodgers have a better sense of what to do or what not to do. Bolsinger has disappeared under the dugout, probably throwing some warm-up tosses back there.
What was interesting about the Chicago game is that we played the game on, and they played under lights that were increasingly getting better. They were warming up, so it wasn't even consistent light, but they just determined that there's enough light, even after the argument. And Joe Madden delaying.
I wonder how they determined that it was enough light.
They just said,
right.
Yeah,
hey, I can see. Let's go, right?
Well, the umpire said to Joe Madden, look, you know, it's fine. And Joe Madden's like, no, he's tough enough in full light, and now with his breaking ball and his slider, there's no way we can face him with just.
And then he protested the game.
And yeah, he protested the game.
He was like Columbo. One more thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alana, let there be light, huh?
Well, I tell you what, during the delay, Yasiel Puig comes over to sign a baseball for a young fan here, and he looks at me and he says, you know what, figures, it's been about 15 years since I got a hit anyway. With my luck, because of the lights going out, they'll just suspend the game and it won't count.
His English is that good? He said all that?
He said it in Spanish.
Oh, I was like, come on,
I'm trying to help you out a little bit.
I was like, if he said that much in English, I want to hear it.
Oh, don't let him fool you. He can speak English perfectly fine.
Yes, he can. And so here we are we've had rain delays. We didn't even have a light delay in Chicago. We just had a lengthy filibuster from Senator Madden. And here we are watching along with you. And this is one of those moments when we are thrilled to hear the news that we have a commercial break, which we're going to take right about now. Nothing they or we can do at the moment until they get those lights back on. It's been, I guess, about 10 minutes now since the lights.
Lighting issue. Please stand by. Well,
flickered off.
I thought you were going to go with the lights went out. Not in Georgia, but in Washington.
Washington, D.C. We have a mini blackout. And when it happened, Tyler Moore was the hitter. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the 4th. And the Dodgers, with a 2-1 lead on an Adrian Gonzalez home run in the top half of the 4th. Well, most of these guys have had the last 3-4 days off. They're getting caught up. And how was your break? Where were you? What'd you do? And meanwhile, everybody's asking, where's the utility guy to fix the lights here? So we are in the midst of a break.
This is actually more boring for the players than a rain delay. Because a rain delay, you go to the locker room, you start the card game, you change your shirt, you do things. But this, you're not sure. Is this going to be 2 minutes or is this going to be a half hour? You don't leave the bench.
The rain delay is averaging like a 30-minute to 45-minute delay.
The grounds crew is going to have to take it off and fix the field and all that.
Do you realize, let's kind of put this into perspective, what kind of a road season this team has had? We've had snow, sleet, freezing. We've had arrivals at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We've had a brownout on the north side of Chicago. We've got a brownout here in the nation's capital. Can't they play a 2.5-hour, 9-inning game without any of this nonsense? Apparently not.
A direct flight that ended up having a stop because of a plane trouble.
Oh, doesn't everybody fly from San Diego to Dallas by way of LAX, halfway to Phoenix, making a U-turn and get on another one?
Yes.
Oh, at least once.
You know what? I mean,
it's been one of those years.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's it's.
Anytime
we played how long, and you've experienced something like that all the time.
Anytime you're in the air over 25 feet and you're having some kind of difficulty, that's an emergency landing. So when they said, this is not an emergency landing, we're just going to go get another plane.
And they're making a U-turn.
Yeah.
No, that's an emergency landing. I don't care. Whatever way you slice it. We had an emergency landing this year.
So we are in the hurry up and wait mode. Well, while we have an opportunity, and certainly we have that, don't we?
Yes, we do.
As we opened the broadcast tonight, 90 games played, 72 to go. Dodgers, when they come home after this 10-game road trip, will have the exact number of home games and road games to play. Dodgers will not play another team from the National League West until the end of August when they face the Giants. And so we are in the meaty portion of the season. We're getting to the dog days of August. And again, one of the issues the Dodgers have had this year, as they did last year, their inability to beat the teams with better than 500 records, 8-18 against teams that are better than 500. Of course, 43-21 against the teams that they should be beating and have been. So I guess the metaphorical question is, where is this team now?
Well, I think it's accomplished an awful lot. And I think it's easy to just bend towards the negative and where do you want to improve. But that's the way the club itself is always looking. You never rest on your laurels and start thinking about, what we've done and what we've overcome and the hurdles we've crossed. But you're always thinking about how are we going to get better. And, of course, this team is looking at beating the good teams. And then how are we going to do that? And a lot of times it hasn't been the pitching as far as the starters. It has been the bullpen before Kenley Jansen, and it has been some situational hitting.
Yeah, it's been that from the offensive side, it's really been able to figure out how to score the run when they need it. We haven't seen a consistent lineup. I think we've seen 72, 73 different lineups so far this year. And that's not all on the manager. That's not on Dan Mattingly. Oftentimes when your guys have been hitting inconsistently, you're trying to figure out how to put guys in different spots to get them going. You want to, trust me, every manager wants to be able to just print out a lineup 3 days in a row and just kind of just change the pitcher. They love that, to have a consistent lineup. Players do. So the players need to find some consistency to allow them to go do that. And then maybe a consistent lineup also helps them figure out how to score that run against those tough teams when they need it.
The moves in the lineup have really been according to health and according to production. Legitimate moves, like moving Jock Peterson from the bottom of the order to the top of the order, Jimmy struggling, moving him into the 2-hole, then moving him down to 8 and sometimes even 9. I think then Justin Turner had earned his way into the 3-hole, and to be moved up from the 6th or 7th slot to be moved up into the 3-hole because of the consistent length of his production.
Now, there's an X factor in all of this, too, now. It's now seemingly a matter of days and not weeks before Hector Olivera arrives. And when Olivera arrives, he is not going to arrive and sit on the bench. And so, in a matter of days, whatever those days are, there will be a switch there. If you read in the paper and it's in the internet, it's got to be true. Corey Seager is not too far away. Whether it will be this year or this week or this month, we'll all find out together. And between now and July 31st, you're looking at the trade deadline. So the team that we are watching now in a blackout delay for the last, 13 minutes, what it's going to look like 2 weeks from now is anybody's guess. In this 10-game road trip, it's the first of 2 10-game road trips for the second half of the season. This is a big time here. And Alana is downstairs looking forward to the final 72 games as well.
Well, guys, I asked Don Mattingly that very question, what the three of you were just talking about what the second half of this season means and what this team needs the most. And he basically said what Nomar was just talking about, that consistency, looking for more balance up and down the lineup. He said not only that at the plate with taking, looking for good pitches to hit, staying within your own strike zone, but also kind of moving a guy over, being able to bring more runs home across that plate. He said up and down, he talked about the changes in the lineup and how many different changes there needed to be, but there needs to be more consistency as far as each player's at-bats, guys.
Well, looking back to last year and down the stretch and certainly into the postseason, the Dodgers' inability to play small ball and advance the runners, and you guys know far better than most of us, that when it comes to crunch time, late September and into the postseason, where you're facing the other team's best pitchers, the runs are at a premium. How you go about manufacturing those runs in those key games, and the defense is considerably better this year than a year ago, but it's the small ball that often tells the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, and when you're facing that tough pitcher, you're on the opposing team, or you're in that game that's going to be close, where it's that one run determining it. You as collectively as an offense have to know, okay, here's our moment, or here's what we can do. Like there's that, you're looking for that one moment, say, okay, either there's an error or there's something that's spark. Okay, we got that leadoff guy on. We know how to get that guy in. And it's not a matter always depending on the home run, because I think we've seen this team really rely on that when over 46% of their runs have been
home run.
by the home run. So it's trying to get away from that and just knowing within themselves as a team that, all right, we trust our bullpen. We know we have a guy in the back end. If we can just get that one run, the bullpen will come in and the game is ours and we can close this game out. That is invaluable to a team and to a championship team.
On that note, we're going to take a break. At 8:19 Eastern Time, it is now 8:35. The lights down the third base line went on the fritz. And they are still on the fritz. And when they come back, we'll start playing again. But for the moment, we are going to take a break. There's one out, nobody on, bottom half of the fourth. And on an Adrian Gonzalez home run, the Dodgers lead 2-1. We're coming back to Nationals Park right after this. to the studio for Backstage Dodgers. Nowhere in the broadcast handbook does it say, what about a light delay? Of course, the lights are half out and have been since 8:19 Eastern time. So the last 20 minutes we have been unable to play, and we don't know when we're going to start playing again. The look of exasperation on Mattingly's face tells all. So we're going to take a break, and when we are ready to play again, we will let you know. But in the meantime, we'll go Backstage Dodgers and talk to you again soon. We hope. This may be the nicest weather delay we've ever experienced. It's been nothing but light outages, and the lights are back on at 8:19 Eastern Time, about an hour and 20 minutes ago. The bank of lights along the third base line went out. It was apparently some kind of a computer malfunction. Well, they've rebooted the computer. The lights are on, and we're getting ready to play again. Don Mattingly has elected to stay with Mike Bolsinger. There is one out and nobody on when play will resume, and it's now just a matter of moments. Tanner Roark has been warming in the Washington bullpen, so he will come out and pitch the fifth inning, in which Bolsinger is due to lead off, and so we expect maybe some managerial maneuverings as a result of all of this. And again, we've got a game tomorrow. You don't want to burn the bullpen. Again, this is the first of a 10-game, 10-day road trip, and we have every conceivable experience on the road this year, and this is our second brownout.
Mike Bolsinger probably had to petition to get back out there. With this long of a delay, normally you don't see a starting pitcher get back on the mound, but with him leading off, like you said, Charlie, he probably said, I am capable of getting us to the next inning, and especially one out, nobody on. It's not a jam. So Mike has been loosening up for a while in the Dodger bullpen as the lights were flickering and warming up, and now he's continuing those tosses out in the middle of the diamond.
And I think it's also a good sign seeing him go out there. Let's not forget, remember when he stumbled on that play going to first base, they were checking his knee. They had to make sure there was a little delay to make sure if he could still throw off that knee as well. And so the fact that you have that long a delay and then still go back out there shows that the knee's doing okay.
Well, he had long enough to heal.
He's back and forth in the DL already.
Yeah, he's fine.
Everything was going along swimmingly with one out in the bottom half of the fourth after Ian Desmond fouled to Adrian Gonzalez, and then all of a sudden the lights went out, or most of them. The umpires gave up. There was nothing they could do, and it was just one of those situations where it was hurry up and wait and wait and wait, and the wait is almost over. It was so unusual that oftentimes when there is a delay, the press box PA will announce what time the first pitch will resume. The press box PA announced about 5 minutes ago the game will resume imminently. So we're in imminent domain, apparently. Adrian Gonzalez, it was his two-run home run in the top half of the fourth inning, his 19th of the year, that gave the Dodgers the 2-1 lead they currently enjoy. Justin Turner was hit by a pitch to begin the fourth, and Gonzalez hit the home run. Yasmani Grandal, fresh off his first All-Star appearance, warming up Bolsinger, and apparently Bolsinger at long last is ready to go, and not a moment too soon. So are we. It will be Tyler Moore and Michael Taylor to follow. Now let's not forget, the Dodgers begin the night at 51-39, a season high 12 games over 500, 4.5 in front of the Giants. They're about ready to get underway with the Diamondbacks in Phoenix. The Nationals at 48-39 have a 2-game lead over the New York Mets. Shin-Woo Sao is warming up in the Dodger bullpen just in case. And after an hour and 22-minute delay, the first pitch is popped into short right field, and now in foul territory, Gonzalez is there. That's how we ended this game. That's what Adrian said. Desmond had fouled to Gonzalez just before the lights went out. He picks up where he left off as more fouls to the first baseman. There's 2 out. And here comes Michael Taylor. Taylor filling in center field with Denard Span on the disabled list, and has made 2 very nice plays out in center field tonight. Taylor takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
He's been busy out there in center field. 3 fly balls out there to center, and so showing some range and very smooth out there.
And there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bolsinger in the 3rd inning tripped and fell on an infield play and hurt his knee at least enough there. He had to take a couple of warm-up tosses with Stan Conte watching very closely, but showing no ill effect since. Into left field. Back goes Ethier, and he will have room. Wow, that was about an hour and 40-minute 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across. Will go to the fifth. Bolsinger is due to lead off. Whether he will or whether he won't, we'll find out when we come back. Tanner Roark is now on in relief. Roark last year made 31 starts. He was 15-10. This year he's started 6 games. This is his 17th out of the bullpen. And he will be facing Kike Hernandez, who will in fact be pinch hitting for Mike Bolsinger. A couple of things. Bolsinger was able to at least complete the 4th inning and did his job, and I guess his knee is feeling better. Kike Hernandez, the first pitch he sees, fouls it off, and it's 0-1.
Well, Mike Bolsinger did Don Mattingly a favor and got those other 2 outs, so he didn't have to make a double switch.
That's Chinwe Sao warming up in the bullpen. He was called up last week. Sao had started to warm up as Bolsinger was throwing to Tyler Moore, but he was able to finish off Moore and Taylor. And here we are in the top of the 5th. The Dodgers on the Gonzalez home run lead. And Hernandez down on strikes.
Just put a cap on Mike Bolsinger's outing. He had the nice outing against Milwaukee before the All-Star break, 6 innings, and did well against them, only a couple runs, and now here is able to go 4 and only give up the 1.
1 run and 2 hits.
Seems like he's starting to find his legs again, showing the ability that he showed in his first 5 starts of the year with the Dodgers.
So Jock Peterson stepping in. Peterson singled to left in his first at bat, then struck out swinging. And he's 0-1. Dodgers 2-1 as we begin just the top half of the 5th. Peterson behind, 0-2. So an hour and 23-minute delay. Peterson has been struck out for a 2nd time tonight. That's the 2nd out of the 5th. Howie Kendrick coming up. So Roark is one of those guys that they're thinking about putting back into the rotation. Howie Kendrick to right. And Harper is there. Roark makes it look easy in his first inning of relief. He's due to lead off in the bottom half of the fifth, then Escobar and Espinosa. Dodgers 2-1. A shot of the lights going out. Well, while we were away, all 2 minutes and 20 seconds worth, the lights went out again. And the Dodgers have just taken the field, and now they have just gone off the field. And everything was fine and dandy until then. 9 minutes we played after an hour and 23 minutes of delay. Don Mattingly with the exasperated look. The umpires are shaking their heads. I mean, there's nothing that anybody can do except figure out how to a way to keep the lights on.
Keep the guy with the switch away from it.
Well, somebody keeps tripping over the wire, apparently.
Something's
that's
going
on the floor. Please put the sign and say, please step over.
So we, like the umpires, the Dodger bullpen is now returning from their place. The Nationals bullpen fellas are out there at least for the time being. This is one of those moments that you always say you come to a game you've never seen something before.
Oh, come on.
Now it's
right.
Twice. And this is the third light failure. The Dodgers lead the league in light failures this year, all on the Max Scherzer.
It seems darker this time. It just.
We played 9 minutes after an hour and 23 minutes of delay.
I think we did lose more lights this time. It is definitely darker.
Well, there's a lot of photo opportunities now for Don Mattingly. And everybody else for that matter.
Photo might not come out, not enough light.
Let's get everybody with
no
their flashes
flash
on. Yeah.
Well, when the lights are on, they generally shine brightest on Bryce Harper. But at the moment, even he can't escape the brownout. So, frankly, we have no idea what's going to happen next. And apparently, neither do the umpires who are down there, exasperated.
The rumor had it that when the Nationals called the electric company and said, we've had a problem with our lights, the electric company says the computer shows that your lights are on. They said, yeah, well, you're not here because they're out.
It wasn't a rumor. That was in fact the email that one of the one of the owners of the Nationals got. He said, the computer says your lights are on. Well, take it up with the lights then. And so this is where we are, and this is in the hurry up and wait mode yet again.
Tomorrow's game time is
20 minutes from now.
4 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or 4:30. So we're going to have daylight.
This is
Lights will not be a factor. Is
Lights
what
will
you're
not
saying?
be a factor.
This redefines daylight savings time, doesn't it?
And Sunday's game is a day game.
Yeah.
So we got to try and get this one in.
The first pitch tomorrow is 4:05 Eastern time.
Okay. So we have a good 4 hours of light tomorrow.
That's Jim Wolf. He's the home plate umpire that's pounding his mask on the side of his leg. Adrian Johnson, who's been the first base umpire tonight. Bill Miller and Doug Eddings are the other two umpires. This is one of those moments where you've got probably close to 40,000 fans here at Nationals Park. You've got two teams. You've got the front office of the Nationals, and nobody knows what's going on, other than the fact that there's not enough light to play. And while you look at it, it's dark, and you would think it is almost playable, except you don't want to step into the batter's box, somebody throwing 95 miles an hour, and not be able to see it.
Yeah. Then it becomes just so dangerous.
And with the salary levels the way they are today and how valuable these players are, that it's an individual corporation walking into the batter's box.
You don't want to be going, okay, if a ball gets away from a pitcher, and going
liability's
in, and you can't,
huge.
yeah, and you can't move out of the way because you didn't see it.
Whether it's a corporation or a nonprofit, you don't want to get hit in the coconut.
Right?
No, no way.
So we are in a hurry up and wait mode again. This is like, you know what this is like? It's like fire drill when we were in school. All right, 2 by 2, we'll go out and wait outside till we're allowed to go back inside the class again. So we're going to take a break and come back to Washington when the lights come back on, or whatever comes first. We'll be back after this. The umpires have left tonight because, again, they have no control over what's going on, and neither does anybody else. Stan Kasten, who used to be the president of the Washington Nationals, he's been busy on the cell phone trying to figure out what's going on. Mike Rizzo, who's the general manager of the Washington Nationals. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Messrs. Guerrero and Puig are having a nice conversation. That's Lorenzo Bundy in the right corner of the screen, putting his hat back on. And we are in the hurry up and wait mode. It's our second blackout of the evening. Right now, 8 minutes into our second delay of the evening, but who's counting? We're going to take a break, and when we get the lights back on, presumably, we'll come back to Nationals Park. But in the meantime, we're going to throw it to Talking Blue 1988, the regular season. I think Oral has some vague memory of that season. Well, our second brownout lasted about 40 minutes. The first one took an hour and 22 minutes, and we are finally ready to play, and hopefully now to its conclusion. We are in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Tanner Roark, who is on in relief of Jordan Zimmerman, retired the Dodgers in order on 7 pitches in the top half of the fifth at 10-10 Eastern time. It's now 10:32 in the evening. Will lead it off.
Charlie.
Yunel Escobar and Danny Espinosa will follow. Now we are missing a first base coach, Tony Tarasco, who is getting a standing ovation from the guys on his bench. He was missing in action while the lights were out. It's been one of those nights. Chin-Wei Sao is on in relief, and the first pitch is outside and high, 1 ball and no strikes. So we have had 2 delays tonight because of a bank of lights down the third base side were out. And Roark with a fly ball into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. And he's on his way to second base, and he will slide in with a double. So we are back, and Roark is aboard with a leadoff double here in the fifth off Chin-Wei Sao.
3 hits this year already. That's his 4th hit, and as crazy as this game has been for the pitcher to lead off with a double, I guess that's par for the course.
It's been a crazy night. The Dodgers 2 runs and 3 hits. The Nationals now 1 run and 3 base hits as Yunel Escobar steps in. So Bolsinger goes 4 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. Of course, not going to be around for a decision. And Sao is making his second appearance with the Dodgers. Escobar squares to bunt and misses. Escobar has doubled and scored the Nationals' only run of the night. This is Sao's 3rd appearance. No runs and 4 hits in 3 innings. Well hit to left. Ethier is going back, way back at the wall and gone. Just like that, the Nationals, after the lights come back, show some power and lead 3-2 for Escobar, his 5th home run of the year.
Chin-Wei Sao threw about 7 playing catch pitches with Yasmani Grandal. Then he had him get down. He threw about 15 full out pitches to get warm for the game. But right now it's starting to look like he didn't get loose enough.
He threw a fastball right down the middle to Roark, and then he just throws a breaking ball that doesn't do anything. That just spins. That goes right down the middle.
And that one is whacked foul off the bat of the switch hitting Danny Espinosa.
Everything has been up so far, just waist high and flat.
Espinosa got a board on an error and then an infield hit. Watch it foul, and it's 0-2. Sao has thrown 6 pitches, hasn't fooled anybody. It's not going to get any easier for him with Bryce Harper on deck. Into short left. Out goes Rollins in front of Ethier to make the catch. Now it's time to take a look at the Coors Light cold hard facts of the night. Well, we've got 2 of the great young sluggers in the game. 23 or younger. Harper and Trout 26 apiece. And Jock Peterson, of course, has 20. Peterson is 6th in the league. Harper, on the other hand, a legitimate Triple Crown candidate. 2nd in the league in average, 2nd in home runs, and 4th runs batted in. And he doesn't turn 23 until November.
Just a tremendous talent, now taking what he's learned over the last 3 years and really applying it.
He is already career high in home runs and runs batted in. His highest batting average in the first 3 seasons was .274, and at the moment he's at .338. Two balls and 1 strike.
When he was drafted, there was a lot of movement in the batter's box. His whole body was moving, his hands, he had a nice big hitch, but he has really refined his swing. There's a nice solid base now, Nomar, in the hands. It just seems like everything has a purpose.
Yeah, it's quieter, really what it is, and he's just almost simplified it. And we recognize that he can still take a cut like that, strong, powerful swing. His power hasn't diminished one bit, but he's found himself probably more consistent in squaring the ball up in his approach to the ball, and probably he's cut down on more of those strikeout swings and misses, and probably
seeing the ball better too.
Yeah, and just also adjusting to what the game's given him.
You talk to the people around the Nationals, and they say he really knows his strike zone now, that he can take the ball an inch off the plate and just spit on it.
Mark Wiedemeyer, the fellow with the mustache, used to be in the Dodger organization. Advanced scout. Now he works by the side of Matt Williams. And Sal walks Harper. 1 out. Clint Robinson, the former Dodger, coming up.
Well, that walk, Bryce Harper, is just the continued sign of his maturity. Not coming out of his game, waiting for the game to come to him, get a strike. Past years, when the average below 300, he'd be swinging at those pitches and probably making outs, but now he's going to take his walk.
It's hard enough to go through your teenage years and early 20s just as a normal human being. But in the case of Bryce Harper, since his introduction to the baseball world, when he was 16 on the cover of Sports Illustrated, he has grown up in front of everybody's eyes, and as a baseball player, this is certainly the breakout year. No balls and a strike to Robinson.
Well, he played his minor league development years at the big league level. That's how good he was. And he has developed, even though he was producing at this level and was good enough to play here and to make a huge impact. He's still getting better.
And here's Clint Robinson at the plate, who's 30 years old, scratching and clawing to make it to the big leagues. Had 9 at-bats with the Dodgers last year. Had 4 at-bats with Kansas City in 2012. Was hoping to hook on with the Dodgers, could not, did not. So you have 2 fascinating baseball stories. The natural, the phenom at first base, and Clint Robinson at the age of 30 finally getting the chance to play at least a little bit. Dodgers have the shift on for him, and he's down on strikes.
The fans are upset at this pitch, and a lot of it also, look where Yasmani is set up and how much he has to move for this ball. And it's definitely at the low part of the zone, kind of borderline down there on that strike. But I think a lot of the booing you get, and also frustration, is the fact that the catcher had to move so much to catch that ball.
Jim Wolf is calling balls and strikes tonight. Randy Wolf's older brother. Now Wilson Ramos, who's 0 for 2. Nationals with a 3-2 lead. Ramos is struck out and bounced to short. Giants are in Arizona tonight. Diamondbacks have a 2-1 lead hitting in the bottom of the third. Slowly hit to short. Rollins will throw to first. That'll do it. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We'll go to the 6th with Turner, Gonzalez, and Grandal coming up. Break. The lights went out again. There they are. It's the same bank. And right now the umpires are meeting with Mattingly and Williams. The sense we get that this may be the end of the evening. And they would pick it up tomorrow. Nothing official has been announced as yet. There's Mattingly with Adrian Peterson putting his arm around him. It looks like Mattingly is telling his team, we're going to pick up where we left off tomorrow. We will wait for the official announcement. But we have had 2 delays that have lasted over 2 hours. And we haven't played that much. It's 5 innings in. The Nationals lead 3-2 on the 2-run home run by Yunel Escobar. Dodgers seeking guidance from their manager. The Nationals look like they are heading back into their clubhouse. Dodger bullpen is coming in, but we have not heard the official announcement yet. But it sure looks like this game is going to be suspended, and they would resume again tomorrow prior to the start of the regularly scheduled game, which is 4:05 Eastern time, 1:05 Pacific. Clayton Kershaw and Doug Fister will have at it. Sunday, where lights will not be an issue because it is a day game. Zach Greinke and Max Scherzer, which could, at least on paper, be the pitching matchup of the year going in.
It sure could, Charlie. And Dodgers really frustrated now because they're headed in the locker room probably for a good night's sleep with a semi-doubleheader tomorrow, down 3-2 instead up 2-1.
Well, I knew that they were going in. When I saw the pink backpack going in, you knew that they're probably going to call it.
You know, if the pink backpack worn by a rookie relief is left out, you know that then there's for chance we might play again tonight. It sure doesn't look that way. Fans are still in the stands because there has been no official announcement from the public address announcer or anybody else.
I can only warm up my vocal cords so many times in a day. This has got to stop.
Clearing his throat 3 times in one night.
This is not right.
Oh boy.
This has been the nicest weather we've ever experienced in delays. We have had this year rain, sleet, snow, hail, and this is now the second game in which there have been light issues. One you can almost understand, Wrigley Field, but Nationals Park.
The lights are only 8 years old here, I think.
Yeah. The lights are off and everybody's home. The Bat Boy has picked up the rosin bag, and that is a sure sign that this
between
night
that
is
and the pink backpack.
Yeah. So, you know, we are in uncharted territory. And again, we're still waiting for some official announcement from somebody.
So the lights are only 8 years old.
Yeah.
I think so. Should have gone with LEDs. I think they last longer.
But bump.
So we assume we will pick up tomorrow at some point. The bullpens are now empty. Fans are still sitting in their seats. Some are beginning to leave. And one would assume this would be a suspended game, not an official game. But again, at this point, we have heard, as they say, nothing from nobody.
Well, if they're going to start this game before tomorrow's 4:05 regular game, then you would think it would start somewhere around the 2 o'clock area, because we have about a half a game left to play if it doesn't go into extra innings.
Well, we have a day and a half tomorrow. And again, how will the Dodgers then pick up? Who will pitch over the final 4 innings of tonight's game tomorrow? And of course, we do know that'll be Kershaw and Pfister. The regularly scheduled game is supposed to be at 1:05 Pacific, 4:05 here. Sunday, of course, it'll be Zach Greinke and Max Scherzer. So the game has been suspended, and the folks back in the studio will have a far better idea of what time the game will resume tomorrow than currently we do. So for Alana Rizzo, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Charlie Steiner, and boy, hasn't this been fun. And we'll see you again tomorrow.